It's very sad that today you cannot even trust your own best friend, because once you open your heart to them, it's just a matter of time before you hear that story in another person's mouth. A time has come that we must say enough is enough, and we stand to support one another. If somebody is not doing the right thing, correct them with love. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're doing well from right where you're watching us from. In case you're new here, my name is Devance and this is Devance Empire. Thank you so much for subscribing to my YouTube channel. If you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you take this opportunity to subscribe and turn on that notification bell to always receive an alert of every video that we do upload in our YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to talk about artists and depression. Now, the first thing that you need to know, who is an artist and what is depression? Now, an artist is anybody who engages in activities that are all related to arts. Yes, that's simple. And when you talk about arts, it could be painting, it could be singing, it could be drama, acting, anything to do with arts. So anybody who does anything related to arts is an artist. Secondly, we have what we call depression. Now, when we talk about depression, then we are talking about a mood disorder that can affect a person's daily life activities. It can be described as a feeling of sadness, loss, or anger. Now, in the world we live in today, many people are depressed without knowing that they are depressed. And in this video, I just want to share with you a few highlights on why most of our artists sink into depression. So stay tuned. The first reason why most of our artists sink into depression is because of fame without money. Now, let me tell you something. Many people do not understand who an artist is. Sometimes you can be an artist. You can be a musician, you can be a comedian, you can be one who draws, you can be, any form of artist. And because of technology that has advanced and made the world into a small village, through the internet, it's very easy to promote your works as an artist, yes. And so, your works might reach a very big audience, so big that within a short time you become famous. Now, once people start watching you on TV, once people start discussing you on social media, once you become the talk of town, then people expect you to be having money. And as an artist, you tend to try to live how people are trying to take you or people are trying to carry you. At the end of the day, you are famous. Every corner you go, your song is hitting. Every building you go to, your arts are there displayed, and then people expect you to be having money. At the end of the day, when people will be approaching you to help them, you'll feel so bad because you cannot help them, you cannot give them anything in return because it is just about fame without money. At the end of the day, this artist goes back home, sinks into depression, which might end up killing him or her. Very sad. Fame without money. Another reason why artists sink into depression is because of cyberbullying. Now, unknown to very many people, cyberbullying is one of the main reasons why most artists sink into depressions. And because of cyberbullying, we've had artists try to do strange things such as committing suicide, which is very sad. Now, cyberbullying is where people or an individual gang up to speak negative things about a particular artist or a group of artists. Cyberbullying is where somebody sits behind an electronic gadget and they start typing things that will hurt an individual, most particularly in this case an artist. They might decide to body shame you, abuse you, talk negatively about a project you have done as an artist. At the end of the day, the particular artist comes through such bullies online. They tend to get demoralized, they feel so low, they feel like giving up in all things that they do. Therefore, they sink into depression, which may later lead to their deaths. Very sad. Another reason why most artists sink into depression is because most of them tend to live a fake life. Yes. Now, as an artist, there is a way you might want to live because people might expect you to be living. Because being an artist comes with fame, it comes with money and what have you. Now, your audience or fans might not know that you as an artist do not have money. So, you trying to live a life to please them or to make them happy might lead to your depression. Because once you start faking it, that you have a car, that you live in an expensive estate, that you have a very big house, that you own big assets, you might end up into depression, trying to please your fans and audience. Now, because of the way your fans or audience want you to live, many artists have ended up living fake lives. They've ended up spending all their money hiring vehicles so that people can see that they have very big and posh cars. They've tried going to live in expensive estates so that people can see that they live in expensive places. At the end of the day, when they get back to their homes, they realize that they've drained their accounts and they have nothing else to eat. They have no money. They end up falling into depression, which ends up leaving them in a very bad state. Very sad. Another reason why most artists fall into depression is when many people depend on these artists. Over dependency of an artist. Yes, as an artist, people assume that you have money and it's their rights as fans to receive help from you. So you find different people walking into an artist or celebrity's home trying to ask for help, one after the other. Today somebody comes that they do not have food, and as an artist you are forced to give them money to go buy food. Tomorrow somebody comes that they cannot afford to pay their house bills. As an artist you give them money to go pay for their bills. The following day somebody gives you a phone call that they're sick and they need money to pay for hospital bills. As an artist you have to give them. You find an artist doing all that not because they have money, but because they're trying to save a status. They're trying to maintain the status that they have built for a very, very long time. So they end up giving out everything that they have to remain relevant or to remain up there. Because that day that they will say they do not have it, then it will become a different story in the industry. It will only take one person to say a negative comment that shall kill your celebrity status, which nobody wants, because it's very difficult to build an empire, but it only takes a second to bring that empire down. So to avoid that, you have to give help, even if you cannot afford, even if it is draining your pockets, which is very sad. Artists end up getting depressed when they realize they're running broke and they have nothing else to give. Very sad. Another reason why most artists fall into depression is because they have no one to talk to. They have nobody to trust. Now, in the past, life was very interesting. We used to say, a problem shared is half solved. But in the generation we live in today, that is no longer the case. We live in a generation where sharing your problem is only doubling the problem itself. Because you might have trusted somebody, you shared with them your problem, because they're the only person that you see as a friend or somebody whom you can open your heart to. Before the day ends, you realize that this story is already on social media, or some other people are also talking about this particular problem of yours that you shared with somebody else that you trusted. That is the generation we live in today. So you find most artists, however much they might be going through a lot of problems, they find it difficult to open up to people. They end up falling in depression, and serious depression, because their heart is full of problems. They have nobody to share their hearts with. It's very sad that today you cannot even trust your own best friend, because once you open your heart to them, it's just a matter of time before you hear that story in another person's mouth. And therefore, lack of somebody to trust has caused many artists to fall in serious depression, which has ended up being the main source of death. Ladies and gentlemen, before I end this video, I know there are many other reasons that I might have not stated in my video today. Many more reasons why artists and our celebrities fall into depression. I therefore open this forum to anybody who has any other point to add in our comment section down here. Feel free to comment. Feel free to share with us more other reasons on why artists and celebrities fall into depression. We will be glad to interact with you more and more freely. Guys, I want you to know that a celebrity is just a human being like us. Sometimes the words we speak to them, whatever we tell them, whatever we write on their walls on social media, might be the root cause to why they fall into depression. Before you open your mouth to say any word to somebody else, ask yourself this question: what if it were you? How would you feel? And once you can ask yourself that question and answer yourself, then get the courage to post whatever you wanted to post about a particular artist. Before you start throwing stones at them, before you start body shaming them, ask yourself, what if it were you? What would have you done? Because some of the artists we have, some of the celebrities cannot take some of the words they receive lightly. They end up falling into depression, they get stressed, they end up committing suicide, which is very sad. And today you can concur with what I am saying, that we have lost very many talented artists because of depression. A time has come that we must say enough is enough, and we stand to support one another. If somebody is not doing the right thing, correct them with love. If we do that, then this country, this world will become a better place, not only for us, but for our children and our children's children. Until next time, guys, this is Devance Empire. End of discussion.